Operation Kris Kringle, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction written, voiced, and thumbnail drawn by me, EBRX. Please excuse me if you hear ticking, or a bird, or a cat, or a dog, or perhaps an axolotl in the background, because I am taking care of all these animals right now. And I'm on the go with my remote setup, but please enjoy Operation Kris Kringle. Alya has been running the Ladyblog for the better part of her teenage years. At first, it was a hobby, like your average teenage Tumblr blog or TikTok page. But then, after getting mainstream recognition, the Ladyblog started getting advertisers, which turned out to be a great income source to get her through university. But after the dramatic defeats of Hawkmoth, and the heroes making less and less appearances, her views declined. You would think it was a natural progression, even though Alya tried to diversify her reporting to non-superhero matters, she could never recreate the traction from before. It didn't help that her monopoly on superhero news was shattered, 'cause the Ladyblog had competition. The Memo, a foreign news website, or what some would call a tabloid, had set up shop in Paris to report on France's favourite superheroes. While Alya operated as an independent journalist, with the occasional sound help from Nino, the Memo had a whole team with high-end camera equipment to take the highest quality photos of the heroes that anyone had ever seen. There was no way for Alya to compete with their technical expertise. Thankfully, the Memo hadn't done any drama or investigative reporting on the heroes yet, but Alya knew the company was infamous for exposing celebrity couples overseas. So, Alya needed to get onto it and explode #Ladynoir first, because there was no way that superhero relationship news would be broken by some random alien journalist. Not after all these years. It had to be her. And thanks to Ladybug's luck, it was the holidays, which meant the heroes would be making more public appearances than usual due to their miraculous charity events. In collaboration with the Ladyblog, of course. And after said events, Alya noticed that the heroes wouldn't go home right away, but they stayed out on the rooftops drinking hot chocolate until late into the night. The more Alya followed them, the quicker she realised that they seemed to be going on some kind of hot chocolate tour around Paris, visiting every popular and backstreet cocoa place in the city. No doubt it was Cat's idea, by the look of him dragging Ladybug around. But, suspiciously, Ladybug allowed him to enthusiastically. Sus. Knowing she might be stumbling upon what would probably be her biggest break ever, she called the gang to talk it through. What? Ladynoir? Weren't we over this years ago? Marinette groaned, crossing her arms with an exaggerated huff. Adrien turned around, expertly balancing the tray as he handed out the mulled wine to the group. Snatching her mug a little too quickly, Marinette wrapped her hands around it like it was her lifeline. She took a long sip, the warmth doing little to calm the heat rising to her cheeks. "Trust me," Alya said, her smirk practically audible. "There's something going on with them. Hot chocolate tours are such a coupley thing to do." The mug hit the table with a soft clink as Marinette bristled. "No, it's not. Adrien and I are doing a mulled wine tour this year, and it's a totally normal holiday thing to do with friends." "You two are dating!" Adrien's hands flew to his face, dramatically gasping. "My love, did you just friendzone me as a couple? After all these years?" "Payback for our school years, sunshine." Nino clinked his mug with Alya's. "Dudes, you've gotta admit that over the last few years, the bug and cat have definitely been more than friends. Something's changed in their relationship. It's obvious to everyone." So what their dynamic changed? Friendships can change, especially as we grow older and change as people. Marinette elbowed Adrien. I'm right? Yeah, of course. Alya came to an epiphany. OMG. She covered her mouth. They must have revealed to each other. Marinette's and Adrien's heads spun to look at her with horror. What? That's what changed. She quickly grabbed her bags and stood up from her stool. Come on, Nino, we have to go buy a new lens. We're not using your iPhone X to break this story. She pulled Nino to stand up. Sorry for crashing your guys' date, and thanks for the wine. See ya. That night, with shiny new equipment and an ultra zoom lens, Alya followed the heroes, who, as expected, were on their nightly hot chocolate dates, seated on a rooftop watching the Christmas lights on the streets below. Operation Kris Kringle was a go. She snapped some photos, hoping to make a collection of Ladynoir date evidence that would be undeniable. Did she feel a little bad for invading their privacy? Yes, but this was the closest to #Ladynoir she had ever been. She would not give this one up. Noticing the heroes leaning in to whisper to each other, she decided to hit record. A few seconds later, they stood up, giving her a better angle to see them. Before they slowly moved closer into a kiss, Alya was stunned and muffled a squeal. It happened so quickly, but she was right! She had dreamed of this moment, and it was here, finally! #Ladynoir, confirmed, went in for a second kiss, longer and more steady with smiles on their lips. When they eventually pulled away, Alya still focused on getting the perfect shot. They turned towards her and made eye contact with the camera, causing Alya to jump out of her skin. Before she could process it, she heard feet landing behind her. So, Alya, I trust you will break this story respectfully? Ladybug asked, putting a hand on her shoulder, causing Alya to turn around. Yes, madam, she said, saluting her. They nodded, but before they walked away, she asked, Wait, could I get an interview? Or a statement, at least? Cat Noir turned to Ladybug. Why don't we have a little sit down? We'll meet at your apartment? Yes, please, Alya said. Wait, how do you know my apartment? Ladybug shot Cat daggers before smiling wide. That's because of Marinette, your roommate, right? I send Cat there every so often to pick up macarons for my Kwame. That made sense. Oh, you're the one who buys them? I always wondered why Marinette insisted on baking those specifically for the bakery, even though she hasn't worked there otherwise in years. Marinette had some explaining to do. Why didn't she tell her about this? Getting commissioned by the Ladybug to make baked goods? That's so awesome! Wait, how come she never noticed Cat coming by to pick them up? How did Marinette hide something like that from her? Marinette's useless at keeping secrets, especially from her. Anywho, Alya rushed home to turn the living room into a makeshift studio and set up Nino's sound stuff. Luckily, Marinette wasn't home and was staying with Adrien, so there wouldn't be any sewing machine background noise. The heroes showed up, and an hour later, when their interview concluded, Alya and Nino wished the superheroes good nights before she immediately got onto her laptop to start editing. It looks like Paris was getting their Christmas presents early this year. Thank you so much for listening. That was Operation Kris Kringle. I think I need to put background music on to try and muffle out the bird sounds and the ticking and the sound this fridge is making. I think it's old, so it's making lots of sound. If there's background music, that's why. Also, Christmas spirit, guys, come on. We gotta get into it. Next week, there will be another Christmas special. Should I leak the title? Sweater weather. So, look forward to that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!